I was introduced to OxyContin, and that was where my life turned to hell. I had lost everything. I lost my job. I lost my car. I lost my teeth.
We are very, very frightened, nervous every day you come to work.
On a daily basis, we turn away handfuls of people that come in with prescriptions that either look phony or we know they're not for legitimate reasons.
And then we also have pharmacists who are dealing on the black market and accepting prescriptions that they know are false. For instance, in one case, we had a prescription that was actually presented to a pharmacist that was written in crayon.
And those stories just from Long Islanders. The hazards of prescription drug abuse, as we heard from people caught up in various parts of the problem in a special we brought to you on RFL in January. Well, tonight it appears as though New York State is taking a major step to fight back. Lawmakers, they reached a deal on something called iStop. It's a law that would establish a streamlined, mandatory, it's a key word there, mandatory online database where doctors and physicians would have to record prescription info in real time, which should make it a lot harder for abusers to go doctor to doctor and call prescription shopping, and from going from pharmacy to pharmacy to get them filled without anyone asking too many questions.
It's the tools that a pharmacist needs to operate his business. We don't have to spend 30–40% of our time on the phone just verifying prescriptions all day long.
But it seems not everybody agrees with this, and this is what the holdup was. A physicians lobbying group, the Medical Society of New York, saying in a statement, the medical community has serious concerns with proposals that would mandate reporting and checking a database each and every time a controlled substance prescription is written. Now, that said, though, my word is tough. The problem, it goes well beyond, though, just a simple script abuse. Over the past year, Long Island, just think about just Long Island. They've seen a spate of prescription drug-related crime and murders. 4 people killed in a pharmacy shooting in Medford. Many of you remember last June, and an off-duty ATF agent gunned down outside a Seaford pharmacy. And joining us now to explain iStop, New York State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman. And first of all, Attorney General, congratulations. I know we spoke on the eve of the report you released in January, which really opened a lot of eyes in New York. This should take effect by the end of the year, right?
Yes, thank you, Richard. And I appreciate your having been with us on this effort to pass this legislation. We hope to pass the actual bill and get it signed in the next couple of weeks, and for the Department of Health to be able to issue the regulations to implement it by the end of the year.
Tell everybody at home why it's so significant that you had basically a voluntary program. This makes it mandatory. Tell people the distinction in really battling what can only be called an epidemic when it comes to prescription drug abuse in New York.
You're right about that. It is an epidemic. It's the fastest growing drug problem in our state. It affects people in all parts of the state, all ages, and we looked at the system and really started with the premise that these are products that start out legal. They start out in a pipeline from doctors to pharmacists to patients, and we decided that the right way to do it was to mandate that every doctor has to consult a real-time database, every pharmacist has to enter each prescription into that database and consult it, so we'll be able to get better treatment. Our medical professionals will know if you have 10 prescriptions for the same product and be able to counsel you. This gives New York the most comprehensive system for tracking and preventing the diversion of prescription drugs of any state in the United States.
You know, we've attached the report that you put out, but the numbers are mind-boggling. More prescription drugs, more scripts were written in New York than there are actually people. I'm curious, did you find that this was systemic across pharmacies, you know, from north to south in the state, or were there just a few really bad actors right here that were responsible for the majority here of some of the subsequent crimes?
Well, it was really remarkable because it is a statewide problem. And part of the reason I think we were able to build support so quickly after our report was issued in January, calling attention to this, was that it really is something that affected everybody. We were really able to put together a package that we can all be proud of. This is clearly a national model for tracking and preventing the diversion of prescription drugs.
You know, Attorney General, we're coming up almost a year since those Medford killings, which I know were a wake-up call for a lot of folks. Use that as a case for our audience. If iStop was in place, could that have in many ways prevented a guy like Laffer to have gotten to the point of where he was, where literally, you know, we saw tragedy happen in that pharmacy?
Well, those folks, their records revealed, got addicted through the use of prescription drugs. I mean, they had some unbelievable number of prescriptions that they'd obtained traveling around over the couple of years preceding the killings. And we do think that this is going to be a powerful tool for doctors, who are the first line of defense, for them to know when someone is abusing drugs, pharmacists, and then ultimately for law enforcement to come in. This really comes in from all directions. There are a very small number of doctors who badly abuse the system. There are fewer responsible pharmacists. The overwhelming majority of the medical professionals, though, in both those fields are responsible and are in business because they want to help people. But there is clearly a large criminal element that aggregates these drugs, that buys them, that tries to run groups of doctor shoppers, and that's what produces the huge volumes we see. Last year they arrested a guy in Staten Island who'd sold 40,000 plus doses out of his ice cream truck. So someone is accumulating a lot of these drugs that all start out as being legally prescribed. Now with iStop, we're going to shut down the leaks in the system and prevent that from happening. Well,
I know the legislature didn't get in your way, and they played a role, as did the governor, but you took point on this, and you deserve credit for it. Thanks again, Attorney General, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.